I was contemplating making this episode on the BOWpod just because it's more of an episode where I'm going to be venting a little bit. And I still decided to make this episode just because the whole premise of the BOWpod is sharing this journey, this entrepreneurial journey. And I can't imagine that there aren't others that may relate to what I'm about to share. And what I wanted to just touch on and share with you is how I've been feeling the past couple of weeks. And to say it in one word, exhausted. I've been feeling quite exhausted mentally. And of course, then it makes you feel exhausted physically. And I just couldn't really place why I've been feeling this way. Maybe it's a time of the year. Maybe it's like it's sort of a mini burnout. I'm not quite sure. But I thought I just wanted to document this. I wanted to share this just because in the event that you may be feeling, a bit low on energy and just fatigue, that you're not alone. And what tends to happen during this period or this phase is in my creative business, I'm not doing the things that I should be doing or that I wanted myself to do, such as posting frequently on IG, reels, etc., making new podcast episodes. And when my energy is this low, it's pretty hard to get into that creative flow, to get into that creative state. And what ends up happening is because I'm not doing these things, it tends to send me sort of in a downward spiral. And although I must say, compared to the past, I am a lot more compassionate with myself. I'm a lot more kind with myself. I still realize that I am human and I still do feel these emotions. And of course, I know the idea of not being so controlled by what you're feeling, and despite what you're feeling, you power through. But sometimes I think it's good to just feel what you're feeling and try and give it a place. And I mean, it's taken me about 2 weeks. And so I'm super happy that I can, sit here, make this podcast episode and kind of get back into the flow. And it's like that saying of, if you have one flat tire, don't slash the other three tires. Or not because you have one flat tire means you need to slash the other three good tires. And, thinking about this business as well, or this journey, there are gonna be times where you're gonna feel like that. You're gonna feel like you're having a bad day, you're having a bad week, couple weeks, maybe even month or months. But does that mean that you should disregard all of the good things that you have done prior to that, or that you were still managing to do throughout the process? And of course, that's a hypothetical question. The answer is no, you don't want to disregard all of the effort that you've put into up until this point just because you're going through a low period right now in your business. And another thing that's been, that I wanted to just touch base on on this podcast episode, as you can see, it's going to be a little bit up and down, not necessarily on one specific topic. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I find this very therapeutic, and that's one of the main reasons that I wanted to do this podcast, and I'm going to continue doing this podcast just because it helps me to work through some of the ideas and the thoughts that are going on in my mind. Even though I also do write them down, I still feel a better flow actually just talking about what's going on in my mind. And so one of the things that has also been on my mind is creating a sustainable creator business. I haven't fully worked through what this will entail. I do have an idea, but that's just It's just a concept, an idea that's been on my mind. And it's been on my mind for a couple of reasons. One of the reasons is because I just recently saw a very popular creator that I used to follow back in the day just resurface on the scene after quitting their their business. And they took a year off in their business just because for a number of reasons, and they found themselves falling into several different traps. But as this creator was talking about some of these traps that they found themselves falling into, I started to notice some of those things overlapping on my journey. Even though I'm not as far as that creator or where that creator has been in their journey, I still found myself relating to some of these traps. And one of the things I realized that was happening with me in my business or on this journey is that I wasn't really having so much fun anymore. It's not to say that I was not enjoying the things that I'm doing, but I found myself putting too much of pressure on myself on needing to do certain things, like really asking a lot of myself, and which is not necessarily a bad thing. But if you're not able to step back and just realize the progress that you're making and being grateful for where you are and the progress that you've made, and find the fun in things again, you have to ask yourself, what am I really doing? And so moving forward, one of the things that I want to do is just be more aware of what is it am I actually trying to create, or what am I trying to do? And yes, I want to create a business for myself, or I want to continue growing my business and growing it to a place where I don't necessarily need to make tons of money, but I just want to make enough that I can stand on my own 2 feet, that I can support and provide for my family, and just live a comfortable life. It doesn't have to be a lavish lifestyle. And so I say all that to say, when I look at how I was working through my weeks and weekends, it's no surprise that oftentimes I may find myself in this state of low energy, almost like a mini burnout, because I'm pushing myself to do so many things, and maybe having too many unreal expectations of myself, being that I'm running and growing this business by myself. You kind of lose track of the things that you once found important, or not once found, but that you value. And some of the things that I find valuable and that I want to continue to lean into and actually exude as I show up online is, having fun in the process of the things that I'm doing, just being grateful that I have this opportunity, to have a camera, to have my laptop, to have, my phone, to be able to connect with you on social media or the different social media platforms, and actually just grow this business, grow my personal brand in the process. Um, but also the reason that I wanted to pursue, this entrepreneurial path and being a creator is that it'll allow me, more time to also spend, with my family. And one of the things that I found myself doing was working a lot in the weekends. And not, again, it's there, of course, there's a nuance to everything, and not saying that that's a bad thing, but I want my weekends as well to be a moment in the week where I can just like step away, step back, and recharge, for the week ahead. And I realized I was not doing that for myself just because I was in this constant flow and this constant state of I have to do more. I can't stay still. It's not good to just like stay put and not do anything. And I realized that was not serving me, is not serving my family, and is not serving the people that I may be trying to help. And so just realizing that it's okay to step back, or not even that it's okay, that it's even necessary to step back, to take a breather and just recharge so that you can, move forward, with intent and, with good energy. And of course, ideally, how I would see my weeks being is not necessarily that I only have to wait until the weekends to recharge. Um, but I have to realize that now, you don't want to sacrifice your family and the people and the relationships around you just because you have this idea of wanting to be in a certain place before you can enjoy those things. It's like, no, I want to enjoy my family. I want to enjoy the hobbies that I'm doing, playing basketball, um, just being outside with the kids, and you know, just different areas of my creative business, even the podcast. This is like for me a hobby, and I just want to enjoy these things in the process and not having it feel like such a burden. Um, what else did I want to touch base on? Um, yeah, so like this time, this period that I find myself in, of this idea of creating a sustainable creative business, or what that would look like, it would just look like me focusing on the things that I find valuable and hold a high level of value to. And one of those other things being a community. I've been This thought has been plaguing me almost for over a year, this idea of building a community. And when I say community, for me, community is more than, for example, the people that you're the audience that you're building on Instagram or on Threads now, where I'm also quite active. I love the community that I've built there, and I'm continuing to build there. But what I realize that I have a very strong desire for is to connect with people more. And when I say connect more, it's more than just like typing and hopefully waiting for a response. But the almost, okay, it's not going to be physical, but actually talking to people, like finding yourself in situations or in groups where you can just have a natural conversation. And I've been doing this quite religiously with a fellow creator of mine on a Monday evening. And we've been meeting every Monday for, I think, the last, what is it now, maybe like four months. We meet and we just like talk, and we spar and we vent, and we help each other in our business ventures and journey. And that has been so refreshing, and that has been so nourishing for me, and for him as well. And it's something that I want to grow more, because like what I'm noticing is that you can be working on your business, alone, but it's a lot more fun when you have people around you, or a person around you, that you feel like supported, and that if you're running into roadblocks, that you can, hit up this person and say like, yo, I'm having a tough moment right now, like, do you have a moment to like talk? And you can just like share ideas and concerns and frustrations, maybe limiting beliefs, and just get that support. And I've been thinking more and more of just creating a community for people who are looking for more out of a community in terms of actual connections, and deeper connections within the online space. Because of course you can look for that outside of the online space, but because I'm so immersed into my brand, building my brand online, the digitization of my brand, online. It would be great to have a community online that you can connect with, because those people are also on a similar path, experiencing similar challenges, have similar interests. And so, you'll be able to connect deeper in that regard. And so, building a community, or a private community of some sort, is something that I'm going to be venturing into a bit more as time progress. And even in that, again, now this is taking going a different path. As I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking, okay, like what value can I bring if I created this community? And what I found myself doing is thinking in limitations instead of opportunities, wanting to have everything figured out before I start this community. And it goes to say it's not necessarily that I say you should just start things like random, which there's nothing wrong with that as well. And it's good to maybe do a little bit of homework before you jump into something, but it shouldn't be to the point where you're thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking, trying to have everything well thought out before you actually take action, because it's usually in that overthinking is where you literally think yourself out of doing something, because with that thinking comes some maybe challenges that you're thinking about and how you can resolve that challenge. But then when you resolve it, there's another challenge that comes, and then you think, okay, how can I resolve this? And so you again think and think and think until you think yourself out of the thing. And so I don't want to find myself in that trap, um, of overthinking and then just procrastinating. And so again, this community is something that I will be venturing into and just sharing that journey along the way, maybe for others who may want to also start a community, their own community. It's like if I lead the way, I can share, things that I run into or things that I am doing in my community or in my pursuit of building this community that they can then use on their pursuit. And so I want to just reframe and just be cautious of how I approach it, that I don't talk myself out of actually doing the thing. This has been good. This has been, again, very therapeutic. Episode 8 of the BOWpod. Randomness, but, again, I don't want to feel like every episode needs to be an episode where I, how do you say, have to just like just like focus only on my audience. Again, there's nothing wrong with focusing on my audience. Like, I love you guys, but if I'm not taking care of me first and focusing on the things that I need, then I'm no good to anybody. And so, happy that I could have got this episode out, or just got this message, this idea documented and out there. I feel good about it. I feel like I have some momentum again that I'm slowly but surely building. And so, yeah, definitely excited for, the coming months. This is literally the last day of February as I'm filming this. Let's hope I don't take too long to actually publish it. So hopefully within the first week of March, this is online and ready to be viewed. But let's start small, start somewhere, and just continue to just stack small wins, small actions day by day, until we just create this snowball effect, of bigger things that we undertake. And just know that even after you undertake big endeavors, bigger challenges, projects, and that if there's a period where again you kind of fall off, like, don't be too difficult on yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. I know it's easier said than done, but find grace for yourself, find compassion for yourself, and just remind yourself, if in the past you fell off and you've created momentum again, just know, if you fall off again or there's a low period, that without a shadow of a doubt that you can create that momentum again. So I hope this was still beneficial to you somehow, even though it was me venting and getting my ideas and my thoughts out there. Really appreciate you for tuning in, and we're gonna keep this train going. Body of work, we're gonna just continue to put that stuff out there, and look back in 10 years and be like, I'm happy that I started on day one. Peace.